For over 9 years, Iowa's News Now has featured the Ed Thomas Coach of the Week, named after the man who was not only a legendary head coach, but a sculptor of men. Today we bring you the story of 3 coaches who carry on Coach Thomas's legacy. For 37 years, Applington Parkersburg's Ed Thomas walked the sidelines of one of Iowa's most legendary football programs. 19 playoff appearances, 2 state titles, the 2005 National Coach of the Year, and prior to his death in 2009, he sent dozens of players on to the next level. Most notably, Casey Wiegman, Jared DeVries, Brad Meester, and Aaron Campman, who went from the small 2A high school to each play over a decade in the NFL.
He definitely led me to where I am now. I mean, there's no way I would be in this situation if it wasn't for him. I'm just super thankful that, I got that opportunity to play for him.
One of the great things that was evident when you were learning how to play football was just how much he cared. And he used to tell us that, boys, you just show up and care and we'll do the rest.
Well, he reinforced the values my parents taught. Yeah, there's no way I would be here. I probably wouldn't have ended up at the University of Iowa, and I would never had a chance to live out a childhood dream.
And now 3 of those men have returned to Iowa to carry on Ed Thomas's coaching legacy.
Quick pitch left with an H blender.
Meester is an offensive coordinator at Mount Vernon.
Set, hit, go.
Campman is a defensive coach at Solon.
We spend more time on defense than any team in the state.
And DeVries is the head coach at Clear Lake High School.
Being able to carry on that legacy and what he has taught us, I mean, I think it's meant so much to not only myself and the other coaches, but anybody that's played for him. We're just trying to find ways to pass that on.
Being able to make connections with these young people, our young men, and helping them figure out more about who they are as individuals through the sport of football it's a wonderful gift.
What do we know about the power read and how they do it?
The on-field results are obvious. Mount Vernon, Solon, and Clear Lake all qualified for the round of 16 in this year's playoffs. Let's go! But it's the impact they make at home and in the classroom that truly bears the mark of Ed Thomas's coaching model.
Obviously, I took a great deal from him. He was really big on making better men. That's what we're trying to do here in Clear Lake. Yeah, we're trying to be as best as we can on the field, but we're trying to be even better off the field. Good.
Everything that he taught us, that hard work and, trusting each other and just character, took that to heart and just wanted to be able to pass that on to other people.
The 3 words that define Ed Thomas's legacy are faith, family, and football. Now, 13 years after his death, through the many branches of Ed Thomas's coaching tree, his legend will live on.
He did a wonderful job of creating an environment for us as kids, hopefully trying to do that as well as we coach in this generation.
We see the value of what a coach and his messages can do, and I believe that's why we're in what we're doing.
We won't know if we succeeded this season until 10 years from now. When these kids come back, what type of people are they and what have they become and how have they grown up? And that's what I love. That's a lot of the stuff that Coach Thomas taught us. It's just those things that we carried on in life. And I'm just trying to find ways to continue to keep doing that with the kids we have now.
As we reach the state semifinals, Brad Meester is the only coach still alive in the playoffs. He and Mount Vernon faced off with and knocked out Aaron Campman's Solon team in last Friday's state quarterfinals.